What's up, guys? Got a video response for you here today. I've been wanting to do one of these. It's a response to my buddy James over at the Stormwind channel, which I will be linking in the description, obviously. It is the Don't Judge a Book by its cover thread that he was starting. I really like the idea, and I figured I'd throw something together for it. So basically, it's 6 albums with great covers that have mediocre or less than living up to the awesome cover of music, and vice versa. So 6 great albums with mediocre covers. I'm gonna do them interchangeably, like one of a great record with a bad cover, and then one of an okay record with a great cover, and so on and so forth. In the background, we're listening to The Gloomy Reflection of Her Hidden Sorrows by Cenotaph. Obviously a Mexican death metal classic. I'm sure most of you guys know this one. Just got reissued. This is a different pressing than the new one, but great record, kind of doomy, really death metal-y, or really melodic-y kind of death metal. Mexico rules with that stuff, man. So first one here is actually a new record from 2022. This is Midnight's Let There Be Witchery. I am going to call this a terrible album cover because I really do not like it at all. I think it's kind of ugly, it's kind of stupid, it's really hideous, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's just dumb looking. But the record itself, man, this record rules. This band rips as usual. You guys have all heard all kinds of great stuff from Midnight, but it's more kind of maybe traditional metal, maybe a little black thrash tinges here and there. I did a full review of this one, but man, just get a load of that dumb. That would be the first one there. Next, this is a good cover with a mediocre music. This is Grand Magus with the self-titled. So that looks to be an Orthodox priest on the front cover, which is, I don't know, I just think it looks really cool. I really enjoy this kind of like druid-y look. I'm a big fan of character art on a cover. Here's all the guys. This is kind of like stoner sludge metal. I thought it was going to be more like Epic Doom because I know some of their other covers, or some of their other records are like that. But this one just really didn't live up to my expectations and hopes I had for it. I really wanted to like this record a lot more than I did. So, you know, what are you going to do, right? Grand Magus, maybe I'll give him another try sometime. I kind of look like this guy, don't I? I need a sweet cloak like that. Cronus is always running around in these videos, isn't he? Always causing trouble doing regular cat stuff. Next is a great record with a mediocre cover. This is a lame cover, I think, and it's actually a split. This is the Disaster Leviathan split. This one was selling for a decent penny for a while there. I feel like it's gone down in price, thankfully, because you guys all should have this in your collection if you're a black metal fan. Some people call this the greatest disaster material to date. Honestly, I haven't listened to this in probably a couple of years at this point. I forgot I had it, but I do know I loved it. I do know I love both of these bands, and I love this record, or this split. But the cover's just lame, man. I guess it kind of fits with the style, sort of, but I really don't understand like what they were going for. Really like just that look of the disc. They both have killer logos, so really cool stuff. If you guys haven't heard this before, I would be kind of surprised. But if you haven't, go scope this out. Go check out a YouTube link or something to it. Next, this one I think is going to be pretty controversial because this is a classic record. And this is a mediocre record with a really good cover. Start the Hate, Strappado by Slaughter. This album's kind of a sloppy mess, man. It's not that memorable for me. I think it's cool. It's good. It's just really like, that cover looks like you're going to hear some, you know, feral Brazilian awesomeness. And it's kind of like sloppy death thrash from Canada. Yeah, I really thought this was going to sound like Holocausto or Volcano from Brazil. I actually thought they were Brazilian for a long time. But the cover is just so good. It's so cool. It looks so classic and old school. And then the music is good, but it's compared to the cover, it's mediocre. Next, a great record with a mediocre cover. This is lame. Woods Fork by Woods of Ypres, the Green Album. What even is this? I don't know what's going on in this front cover. I'm assuming it means something, but I don't really understand what. I don't know what David Gold had kind of in mind. But this is obviously one of the best records in Canadian history as far as I'm concerned. It's just great, man. Woods of Ypres, if you guys aren't familiar, is like this great kind of gothic doom metal with some black metal tinges here and there in their later catalog. It was a lot more black metal early on. It's a great release. Check it out if you have not. Next, one of my favorite bands ever, but this album's music is not as up to par as some of their other stuff. This is The Wake of Magellan by Savatage. I really love this cover. It's a classic looking painting. It looks really cool. Is it some kind of sunrise or like a big fireball behind this ship? I don't really know, but I do know that I think it looks really... Sorry about that annoyance. My phone decided the storage was full for whatever reason, which is wild because I have 128 gigs on here. Like I said, Savatage's Wake of Magellan page pointed out that this is a flaming ship, which is even cooler. But just the music isn't there, man. It's kind of a snoozer. And yeah, Savatage. So I have since obtained a beverage, beer, which I didn't grab beforehand. She picked it out for me, and now it is stuffed on in here. So let's unveil. This is a Fog Cutter Double IPA. Really cool can, actually. Let's see if it's any good. The cat is being a general nuisance as usual. I don't use koozies. Yep, that's an IPA. Next, Pale Folklore by Agalloch. This is going to be in the Great Records with Poor Covers catalog. I think it's just like wood grain with the Agalloch logo. This is one of the greatest metal records of all time. One of my favorite bands, one of my favorite albums. This would be in the top 20 metal albums of all time video easily, which I plan on updating at some point. It's just gorgeous, every sense of the word. It's a perfect 10 out of 10 in every sense of the word. Agalloch rules. This cover is boring. This could be, you know, any kind of awesome picture, and I don't think it would live up to how amazing and spectacular this album actually is. So Agalloch, Pale Folklore. Next, I love this album. I think it's a really good, solid album, but this cover is so good it outshines the album. This is Elfor. I don't know how to pronounce the name of the record, but look at how sick that cover is. I showed this in my great album covers that aren't from Iron Maiden video. Everything. Dragons, castles, moonlight, mountains, big streams of blood, horrifyingly clad warriors, caverns with flames in them. I said it before, I'll say it again. Awesome, spectacular cover. The music is basically like Norwegian style black metal, pretty fast and mid-paced stuff. Elfor has done a lot better musically, but this is probably the best ever cover. Next, a little bit of a homie shout out for me. Maladaptive by Triguna. Their EP from 2016, their second release ever. I was there in the midst of the making of all this. It's a really, really great EP. I really do like it a lot. All four of these songs on here are crazy. Like, Interpretations of Bootlegged Broadway is just wild. This is like really borderline schizophrenic sounding music. It's just absolutely wild in all directions, and it's got this crazy amount of jazz fusion mixed with odd time signatures and just absolute auditory chaos. Like, this band for me at this point was a mixture of Colored Sands era Gorguts and the Dillinger Escape Plan. So if that kind of proggy, weird craziness sounds cool to you, check out Triguna, because I play in this band. Technically, I'm the live bassist now. I did keyboards on their last EP. I did some vocals. So I guess this is also kind of a shameless plug, but this cover is a snoozer for sure. yeah, what they were thinking about it, I have no idea what they're trying to go for, but Maladaptive is a great EP for sure. Next is a album I haven't listened to in years. This is Lugil Cayenne by Rings of Saturn. It's supposed to be like technical deathcore, but check out how sick that cover is. I'm a sucker for giant robots, especially ones that are fighting other giant robots and in space. Killer. So everybody made the jokes about Lucas Mann being Rings of Half Speed, all that kind of stuff. Don't know if that's true. Honestly, could not care less. If your record sounds good, it sounds good. How he made it happen. If anybody has hung out in a recording studio or recording an album, you know that is some stressful stuff, and it really is no kind of fun. But this is some great stuff. I don't adore this kind of technical death metal thing, and just there's something about chords that just kind of rub me the wrong way sometimes. I think it's mostly the fan base. I do like a decent amount of deathcore bands, but this one, not as killer as the cover. I'll put this in again sometime. We'll see how it goes. Next, a great band. Absolutely stellar. Again, R.I.P. Trevor, but Miasma by the Black Dahlia Murder. Miasma, whatever it is. What is this? A melodic death metal album with a picture of the Strip as your album cover. Like, what is that? What they were doing, I don't know. Somebody told me it has something to do with the concept of this album. No clue, man. I really don't know. But it's really a snoozer of a cover, especially holding up against songs like Statutory Ape, Dave Goes to Hollywood, Spite Suicide, Flies. I mean, come on. This is a modern classic, for sure. Black Dahlia rules. Always have. And we're going to close out with a great cover with mediocre music. This is Eve of Desecration by Ezrain. You guys have heard me actually listening to this in a video before. Like with the L4 record, I probably like L4 more than this one, but this is a really decent album. I mean, it's quick, it's fast, it's blasty black metal out on Rotting Corpse Records out of Chicago, and it's just good stuff, man. But that cover is just to die for. Werewolves, man. If you want me to like your album, like immediately, I'll check it out. Werewolves on the cover, Sasquatch, Wendigo, witches. So, the 3 W's and an S. That's how you get me on your record, man. I promise I will check it out if I see something like that. Is there a word for a Sasquatch that starts with a W? There is. If there's something like, what is it? Isn't it in Australia? Whatever. It doesn't actually matter. But this cover is really, really good. The album's pretty good too, but it's not as killer as that cover of A Cemetery, The Dark Forest, Moonlight, Werewolves, and what I assume are like 3 witches. So whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. James, you made a really good idea for a video here. Hope you guys enjoyed this great cenotaph in the background. I'm going to go and practice for a show tomorrow and finish a new season of Stranger Things. Check out the cat. As a quality loaf. Doesn't he look like a loaf of bread? I think he does. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Keep it greasy.